Another live video with myself, Jack, and
I'll do.
The other pretty face you can see on the screen is Mark.
Hello, how's it going?
So on this Vanguard Tactics live call, we're going to be talking all things greenskins, the Orcs. It's actually a better view, I think, if we just hold that there.
Looks fairly okay, just Jack.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same, isn't it? I've told Jack he's got to get rid of that beard. It's dreadful.
Absolutely not. Nah, I stay in.
Yeah, keep it.
Yeah. Guys, if you're watching, if you think Jack should get rid of his beard, just type in, the beard has to go. The beard has to go. I want to see the comments.
You're not going to get any. It's staying.
Let's have a look. Chris Wilson's just joined. Welcome, Chris. Jared's here. Ian's, all the squad's here. Yeah, all the guys are in. So, how you doing, gents? Hope you're well. Obviously, guys, we're going to be doing our Inner Circle mentoringship call on Saturday, and it'll be the whole gang, won't it? Because we're actually playing at Battlefield Birmingham.
Yes, Chris.
Chris has just said.
Oh, yes, lads. Here it is.
It's beard related.
Yeah, it's all beard related.
So what I'd like to see is, in a year's time, I want to see Jack looking like ZZ Top.
Why does everyone want to keep his beard? Look at it.
It's wonderful.
Oh, there we go. Right then, that's settled.
Oh. Right, let's crack on.
Right, lads, Inner Circle meeting Sunday. We need to talk about personal hygiene and also grooming. That's going to be on the topic of Sunday's...
I'll get the moustache comb ready.
Anyway, so myself, Jack, Mark, over there, and also Dan, the other Vanguard Tactics team player. We are playing as a four-man team at Battlefield Birmingham, but it's a singles event, so it'll be our combined scores together. Obviously, I'll come first. You'll probably come...
just call it top 50.
Top 50? Mark, where are you coming?
Definitely in the top 110. For sure, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I like the positivity. And
I'm beating all those ones that don't turn up for day two. Definitely getting ahead of those lads.
All those guys that get a yellow card and can't come back.
Yeah. No pressure on me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Mark gets a red card?
Yeah.
For slow play, I reckon.
Okay.
I'm calling it.
Yeah. From me.
Yeah. Yeah, you two played last time, didn't you?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
we 43 each draw we played out.
What turn did you get to? End of turn one?
We got the whole game in, didn't we?
Yeah, 6. We got 6 in.
Yeah.
So unlike you two.
How rude.
Chris has got Winter Warzone this weekend. And Chris, you're such a legend. I loved your top that you got made. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, awesome. Really, I thought that was really cool.
No, I loved it. But also, this week we're going to send out a questionnaire for everyone who is on our mentoringship program, and we're going to be sending you Vanguard Tactics t-shirts anyway. So they're going to be coming over probably as soon as they're printed. We get them printed, all that stuff, and then shipped. I've got to work out how much it ships to America, but I'm going to do it for you. And then obviously, if you want to get any other stash like hoodies, we've got sweatpants, players. Vests. I rock a vest. If you want to rock a vest, you can rock a vest too.
You see Jack with a beard and a vest.
Oh.
Awesome.
That would be that's a sight no one wants to see.
Stringer, nice.
Yeah. Excellent.
So then, Mark, Orcs. And so what are we doing first, Mark?
Track back. I've got a question for you, and that question is: what hobby stuff have you got done over the past couple of weeks since the last time we've done Ask VT? And specifically, I need to put pressure on Jack to get those Dark Angels finished.
Ooh. So Jack, you kick it off. I've actually got something really, really exciting to announce.
Okay.
Really exciting. But we'll wait.
Oh, okay, we'll wait. So hobby stuff, what have you been doing?
Yes, I've been moving my tower forward, getting a few more units ready for Battlefield. So I've got a unit of broadsides getting polished off. Just purchased Shadow Sun, so I'll be getting her done hopefully this evening, ready for the weekend. Couple of Farsight Marksmen to get myself a Seer Marksman bubble, which is all the rage at the moment, and getting crisis suits ready with triple burst cannons. So it's all tower-related tournament stuff. So unfortunately, Mark's got bad news to report that Dark Ages have taken a little bit of a sidestep at the moment. But they'll be full steam ahead after this weekend.
Well, it's why I'm here tonight, isn't it?
Indeed.
Because going to get the airbrush on the go, and I'm going to get all your bikes painted. Because we came up with a good little technique, didn't we, for your whatchamacallit?
Ravenwing.
The intercessors. And
yes, the troubleshooting technique. So it suits my skill level. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's so simple. Yeah. Looks effective, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's cracking.
It looks good though. It looks really good, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Jack, you got to push on with that. Steve, you've been in loads. You got this airbrush.
Yeah.
Tell us about the airbrushes. That's made an immense difference in your
God, I love it.
painting career.
Oh, mate, I love it. I'm actually quite good at painting now. So, since we last spoke, I painted a Librarian Dreadnought, which you can find on our Instagram if you want to check that out. I did some weathering on it, did some burnt out effects. I did 3 Smash Captains with it. I did a whole squad of Terminators for Deathwatch that I converted from Grey Knight boys because I think they're cooler. I'm now redoing all of my Deathwatch Marines. So they're all airbrushed. So that blocky, chunky paint is gone. Fresh new squads in. And thanks to Glasshammer sorting me out with some models. So that was fantastic of them, who are obviously our sponsor. That supply us with our model hobbies needs, shall we say. So, yeah, basically got some clean models in, airbrushed them. Got myself a new tank commander, which I'll talk about later. So practice a new technique on the tank commander. And then I've also started testing this colour scheme we're going to use for the Orcs, because we've got about 4,000 points of Orcs combined to paint up. Yep. So I've got a good speed technique for Orcs. And also I started on our Death Guard as well. So and I really, that model I love. I'm so happy with it. It's probably one of the best models I've ever painted. And again, that's on our Instagram channel as well. I think it got like 10 likes.
Nice.
Yeah. Probably the most Instagrammed, model ever.
TP, yeah.
10 likes. Yeah. Loving it. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to hobby-wise. What am I working on next? Because I've got the Warhammer World finals next week. They give you painting scores, and I need to get some of them. And I also need to be nice to people to get some favourite game votes.
Yeah, that should be no problem for you. Yeah, friendly chap.
Yep. No, the problem is I've got resting stern face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you need to have resting happy face.
So this one I'm playing like.
Should take some tips off Mark tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let me see him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's that. What else was I going to say? Yeah. So Mark, what have you been up to hobby wise?
Pushing on with the Space Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a bit on been posting them on the Instagram account. Got some bikes done, some Wolf Guard bikes. Nice little competitive unit that I think. Yep. Wolf Guard with Storm Bolters and Storm Shields.
Yep.
I got a lot of Blood Claws done. Another pack of those. I think about 20 done. And then also I have polished off some Hellblasters as well. And then I've quickly had to purchase and convert and paint some grotesques ready for Battlefield Birmingham on Saturday. So with going up to 2,000 points, I've got to fit in another couple of grotesques into my competitive list.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's been we're pushing on with painting. We're getting there. We're hoping to have some new armies coming to the channel on the Batrach soon.
Yeah, definitely. So the good news that I've got to share is basically I've been contacted by a very prestigious painting company.
Yes,
would you say?
I'd call them that. Yeah, definitely.
And basically, what we've got is they've just released a Kickstarter campaign for their next release. And I use these guys' brushes. I think they are absolutely phenomenal. So the company is Artis Opus, and they're an absolutely fantastic company. They've got some of the top top artists using their brushes, obviously me included with my 10 likes on my Nurgle Death Guard boy. They got in touch with us and said, look, would you just give us a mention and things and just say we've got this Kickstarter. And if you guys are looking for a good set of quality brushes, then honestly, I can't recommend them enough. They're very durable. I've got 2 of them, and looking to get the whole set next time, but it comes in a really nice presented box. So if you travel like I do quite a lot, then your brushes don't get damaged, because even if you lose those things that go on the top, then they just stick in this case, which is cool. You get the shampoo as well, so you can keep them in good condition. And also like little treat to yourself. Like they do other little add-ons. So on the Kickstarter campaign, if you've never used Kickstarter before, it's really good, because what you do is you get a top quality product at a lower price, but you pay now and get later, basically. So you might have to wait a little bit of time before it's dispatched. But what I'm going to do right now, if you would like to support them, and definitely check it out, if anything, I'm going to basically put that in the link to their Facebook page, and you can check out their Kickstarter campaign now. Okay, so that's just gone in.
If I've understood correctly, I believe that it's Seed Studios, isn't it? It's their range that they're pushing out.
I think it could. I'm not sure. I think it could be. Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw the Kickstarter first time round was about 6 months ago, and I was interested in getting some.
Yeah.
But I think I might get involved in these ones. They look real quality, don't they?
Mate, so my mate Andy gave me one of the brushes to use, and I was like, wow, this is... Yeah, you wouldn't think that a decent brush would make a difference, but it does.
Yeah.
They are very, very durable. So, loving their stuff. So just pop the link in the old chat box if you want to check that out. Feel free. Anyway, so onwards to what's next, Mark?
Let's get stuck into the Orcs.
We do have a question on Patreon.
Okay.
Should we cover that now or at the end?
Is it Orc related?
It is.
Let's cover it later. So what I want to do is I've got some questions set up for you. Mm-hmm. I want to get stuck into them, and we might find that organically we answer this question. The first thing I want to ask you guys is, how big of an impact do you think the Orcs Codex has made since it came out? So we're talking about this now, what, are we 4 months down the line, something like that?
Yep.
Product placement, yeah.
Yeah, basically, when did it come out? November?
Yeah, I think 4 months is probably about right.
It was October, wasn't it? And then it came out right at the end of October.
It was October, but it was November, yeah, you're right. I remembered.
Me and you...
Marketing fiasco, that was.
Me and you dropped so much cash, didn't we, on that straight away?
I happened to have a week off work around the same time. And,
I can remember getting the Codex, and I literally did this. I got to the heavy support section, and I went, looters. Mob up. 25. Boom. That's literally what I did when I called it. I called the looter bomb.
Straight on the phone to Dan from Glasshammer saying,
I did literally did.
That's what happened.
Literally did, yeah. I didn't buy Grots because I hated the models.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's holding me back, is the Gretchen.
So,
anyway.
Did the Codex shake up the meta? I don't think it did a great deal. If you looked at the LVO results, what were the top 10 lists? Orcs fell short.
Do you know, I'll tell you what I think happened. I think it's got potential to. I don't think people have... Let's be honest. Painting 200 to 300 models is not an easy task. Learning how to use 200 to 300 models is not an easy task. Trying to do that over an 8-game tournament is not an easy task. So it takes an extremely experienced player with an already painted army to go in straight away within 4 months and absolutely kill it. I think
they've got potential to shake it up.
It has certainly meant that people have had to...
You have to think about things differently.
You can't...
The jump.
Yeah, so...
That's a big one, isn't it?
But basically, the only horde that was really out there before was Cultist
spam.
Cultist spam, but they're not. They don't hit you that hard. Yeah. They're just annoying, really.
Plague bearers,
like demons, basically, and then also Nids. but Nids tended to be more on the when they're in their prime, more Hive Guard based and flying Hive Tyrants anyway. Not many were taking Horde Nids anyway. So it does mean now that you have to section off some of your list to be able to deal with over 100 models. So you can't just take that. It kind of strengthened Knights in a way, because you can't just go, right, I need all the guns to kill Knights, because I just need to kill Knights, and if I can kill Knights, I can kill tanks, I can kill flyers, I can kill whatever. It now means that you have to go, right, I need a section, maybe 500 points of my list that is now bracketed or positioned in a way that you can focus on killing solely Horde. Good. So it does, because it's just kind of like added in another 10% of armies that are now playing Horde. So it hasn't like because Orcs aren't a counter to Knights. Orcs actually really struggle to kill Knights. But what they have is great board presence, great board control.
Well, I think when the Codex drops, everyone was looking at it as overpowered and things like that. But actually the reality is, I think it's a really good book. I think once people learn how to really master it, I think there'll be some really strong builds in there. I think the looter bomb's obvious, but I think people have started to.
Obvious. I mean, it took me 10 seconds.
I think people are starting to wise up to it. And deal with
it. I mean, it is a. I'll be honest.
I've never faced it.
So I don't want to face it.
I don't want to face it.
I don't want to face it. I've used it.
I don't mind it.
But
Vex will sort that out.
Get out, Vex, boy. I hate that stratagem so much.
I love it.
But at the -1 and prepare positions, you could start to really negate that looter effect. But it's obviously still 75 shots.
Mark, if you Vex one of my stratagems tomorrow and you roll a 6, I'm literally going to flip the table and burn the Codex.
That, I have a habit of rolling 6s. It's likely to happen.
How smug he is.
Yeah, but you know what? Mark, I'm going to edit the video. And I'm just going to get another bit where, like, a 4 was rolled.
Really badly photoshopped in as well, it's just different dice.
Yeah, completely different dice.
Gentlemen, let's not go off track with your Vex rant, right? Just because you got done in Belgium. That's a different story for a different podcast.
Should be 10 CPs at least.
Right.
Next door question.
Specific question for you now, right? So actually, you two guys have both got Orcs, and you've both got a different style of list. So the question I wanted to ask you is, when you both picked up that book and then decided to go a different way with it. So, like, I'll go to Jack first. When you picked it up, what did you think was strong? What's your ethos behind your list?
The reason I bought the Orcs was I went back down memory lane when I was a kid. I had a Speed Freaks army, which had a couple of battle wagons, boys in trucks and things like that. It was all very quick and mobile. So I thought I wanted to bring that back. So I'm at the moment, I did a practice game against Dan over the weekend, just trying to see what I can do. Running a full Speed Freaks army, so battle wagons, truck boys with shooters in, a big unit of bikes, the Death Killer War Trike. So I wanted that speed, and I wanted to get away, so I'm playing Tower at the moment, I wanted to be active in all the phases. So make use of Weird Boy, combat, shooting, moving. So I want to be really quick, get in the fight, to have something completely different from my Tower, which is stand and shoot. I wanted run and charge. I can only manage these certain bits at a little time. I can't do them all really at the same time very well. So I can either shoot or a fight in combat. That's usually my game tactic there. And I picked the Gorkanaut up, so I thought it was really cool.
Well, you didn't pick the Gorkanaut up. You picked up the shell, and you've not decided what arms you're going to put on it yet.
It's a work in progress. It's getting there. It's getting there.
I mean, when did you pick it up? November?
Yeah. You're under some pressure, Steve. I like it. That's it. Hobby pressure. Let's get, because we want to get them painted. We want to get them on the channel. I'm sure the guys would love to see these in the back rep.
Give this a like if you want to see the Gorkanaut on the channel.
But
currently the list I'm looking at is not even in the list. So I'm looking at the Vigilus.
Let the guys. Let the people speak.
I don't know other words. But the moment what I'm looking at is the Vigilus. I can't remember what the formation is, what it's called, off the top of my head. But basically, you can allow a Speed Freaks unit to move twice for 2 CP. So I put a big unit, 12 bikes in there, move them twice. That's a 32-inch move with being Evil Sons, get an extra 2-inch. 32-inch move. Make sure they're in 6 of the Death Killer War Trike, then charge after they've done that. they have another stratagem to then consolidate 2d6 following that. So you could do some good rapping and trapping with that.
Rapping and trapping, mate!
Yeah, got all the lingo down.
And you can add one to the Death Killer War Trike.
The relic's really good as well.
+1 toughness and 5 up invulnerable save, decent. And then their Warlord trait that you can take for 1 CP. Units within 12 in the morale phase automatically pass morale test if they advance that turn. Quite situational, I'd say.
It's better. The Orcs have some good Warlord traits, to be honest, I think. But I really enjoyed that formation. His bikes are flying out the blocks. Yeah, so it's nice. It's really quick.
Nice.
Sounds really good. So I think that I'd love to see that. I'd like to play against it. I think it'd be horrible. It'd be great if you get Hammer and Anvil.
Cult of Speed.
Yeah, Cult of Speed is the formation.
Okay.
So I'm going to be running the Stomper mob.
Just 3 stompers.
3 stompers,
So, Jack, that's your ethos. That's the way you're going with yours. Steve, I remember you telling me a list at the time, and I remember that I think it was Stephen Pamperin, the guy in America, went and won the Orcs won the first GT, and I think that from what you said to me, that your list was pretty much identical to what he'd taken.
Yeah.
Could you run everybody through it and talk about your ethos behind your play style for the Greenskins?
Basically, me and Steve had a bit of a chat, and he said, "Steve, will you write me a list?" And I said, "Yeah, of course, Steve, not a problem, Steve." So
Steve think alike.
So I said, "Look, here's my list. Just run this," and he went and won it. So good lad, Steve. No, I'm joking, by the way. Steve did a fantastic job, and I've never met Steve. I would love to. Sounds like a top lad. So maybe we'll get him on the channel one day.
Sounds good.
But anyway, so the list that I used, and this is going back a little bit of time, so I'm going to do this off memory. But what I had in there was basically I really like tricksy lists. So what I had in the list, I had a few little concepts, and then the rest is just guff, isn't it, really? So a squad of 15 looters, a squad of 10 looters. Mob them up together, fire them twice.
So can you tell everybody what the mob up thing is?
Yes.
Just to explain it a little bit.
So I went for a Bad Moons detachment, which means I can re-roll hits of 1, okay, when I'm shooting. They've got a really nice mob up strategy where if you've got a unit over 10 and a unit under 10, you can put 2 together.
Yeah.
Okay. Bit like Tinder, basically. Works very similar, alright? One swipes right, the other one's in, it's a match made in heaven, basically. Okay. Mobbing up 25 boys.
Yeah.
Okay. And they basically get D3 shots each. So the way I roll is normally a 1-shotter each, but anyway, that's why you've got the old command point reroll. So statistically, you should get off 50 shots, okay, from that one squad. You then also play 2 CPs to get Daka Daka Daka. So that means on a 5 and a 6, it automatically hits, and you get a chance to hit again.
Get an additional shot.
You get an additional shot.
Yeah.
You've got to roll it, but again on the 5s and the 6s. So it does convert. Hitting on a 5, which are then doubling, with the reroll 1s is about as good as hitting on a 4, I reckon.
Yeah, it's good.
It's pretty decent for Orcs,
it's
right?
Good, yeah.
So, that's them in a nutshell. 50 shots. Strength 7.
Strength 7 -1.
-1.
2 damage.
2 damage.
Yeah.
Beautiful. -1 is really nice. -2's better.
But
-1's okay.
Then what to do after you do that? You shoot them again.
So then, admoons have got a stratagem to shoot them again. And it's literally rinse, repeat. Essentially another 50 shots, statistically, on average. You could end up with
75 a go.
75 a go, so then you're popping out 150 shots.
Yeah.
So I looked at that and I thought, that's just too good to be true. But you need a lot of CPs for it, because you need 2 CPs, 1 CP to mob up, 2 CPs to Daka Daka Daka, 2 CPs fire twice.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a 5 CP
plus
expenditure.
The inevitable one to roll your D3.
Which I'm bound to roll.
Well, yeah. So you have to allow for it. So it's your first turn, you're probably going to look at 6 CP spend. Your next turn, looking at 5.
Yeah.
Because you obviously need to mob up again.
Yeah.
But then you also need to make sure you grot shield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was not sure. Did you have grots in that?
I had grots, 60 grots.
Yeah, 60 grots.
So just tell us about that one, because I don't think you went into it. So the stratagem with grot shield.
Basically, what happens is, I'll get it now because I want to make sure this is on point. I think it means any grots or Gretchen, whatever they're called, that are in front of that unit.
Yeah, closer to the shooting unit, can then take, you could pass effectively like a shield drone or a drone. It's the same thing as a drone for Tal. So a model that's shooting your, say in this instance, looters, on a roll of 2 up, they can pass it to a Gretchen as long as the Gretchen are in between the shooting model and the looters. But it's not specific to any squad, so you can just wrap around in loops of grots and things like that.
Yeah.
And that's just on a 2 up, passes through as a mortal wound.
So it's 1 CP. Use this stratagem after a clan infantry unit from your army, excluding units compiled of Gretchen, has been hit by a ranged weapon. Until the end of that phase, remember phase, you can roll a d6 each time a model from your unit loses a wound if there's a friendly unit comprised entirely of Gretchen models within 6 of it. The Gretchen unit closer, blah, blah, blah. On a 2 up, the original model does not lose the wound, but the Gretchen basically is slain. Okay? So that's kind of how that works. So they've got to be within 6 inches of the looters.
Yeah. So something I'd want to try is like, so you get 30 slugger boys, get another 10, mob them up.
Yeah.
So a unit, massive load of Gretchen in front of them and run them up the boards,
Yep.
Would that work?
Yep.
Maybe not. In paper, it might just get blown off still. But
it's a lot of resources, though, for some shooter boys, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
carry on with your list, yeah.
You could do it where you could mob up 10 and 10 mega knobs.
Yeah.
And then, all of a sudden, your mega knobs are just running up the battlefield, advancing.
No, you can't.
Why can't you do mega knobs? Infantry.
Oh, you can.
Yeah. You can definitely. And that works for clan infantry. As long as mega knobs got the infantry keyword, which I assume they have.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's get back to...
I'll be right back. I'm going to write a list.
Let's get back to...
let me summarise a little bit, just to make sure that I've understood exactly what you guys were saying. So you sound like you've got 2 very different ethoses of the way that you...
I haven't finished mine yet, Mark.
Sorry, you haven't finished yours?
No, I haven't finished mine.
I heard enough after all those horrible looters.
You mean after 150 shots a turn, you had enough?
Yeah.
Mate, I've got more tricks.
I flipped the table and gone home. So what Jack's looking at, from what he's saying, is that using this, the speed, the trikes, the bikes and stuff, whatever, using a stratagem to be able to move a ridiculous amount. It's 32 inches, did you say?
Yeah.
And then you can charge, and then you can consolidate 2d6.
Yeah.
It's a really fast army, a really interesting, like, if you get a short range, on your, roll it on your deployment, you're going to really struggle. That's going to hit you hard straight away. Mm-hmm. And from what you were saying, Steve, is going down what is a more, let's call it now, traditional route with looters. You're using the stratagems, you're mobbing up, grot shielding, shooting twice, utilising all the stratagem. So, but what else have you got in your army, and what are you doing with it?
So, what I also had was 10 tank busters.
Yeah.
From a different clan, though. Basically, the clan, they get to re-roll hits or wounds anyway.
They re-roll hits against vehicles, tank busters?
Yeah, they re-roll hits against vehicles, yeah. And it's Death Skulls, isn't it?
Yeah.
Use this stratagem at the start of any phase. Select the Death Skulls unit. You can re-roll wound rolls for attacks made by that unit. When you're attacking vehicles. So all of a sudden, you've got a 15-man unit of...
tank
busters. And if you need to kill a knight, you daka these boys, and you fire them twice, hitting on 5s, obviously multiplying. They won't get, and they'll re-roll all hits as well, which is incredible, and re-rolling all wounds.
Yeah.
And again, that is a really good way of taking out knights. Now, with the Vigilus book and the new shock attack gun, he would definitely be in my list, because he can fire twice as well. So now I've got 3 key shooting units, okay? I've got the looters, I've got the tank busters, and the great thing about tank busters, they're so cheap, you just jump them in range, blow something off the board, right? Happy days. And then they die. That's fine. They've done their job. Then what I've got is a shock attack gun in that list as well. So the next thing is, this is the bit which was really experimental of mine. And it's only because I love the models. I think they need a bit of a price drop by maybe 20 points. I've got 3 scrapjets.
Yeah. I think they're good.
And they've just got so many missiles that actually they can be quite effective when used as 3 of them.
110 points?
Yeah, I think if they're about 90, you probably they'll be a little bit more competitive. But it works quite well in the list anyway. And they're not the most efficient build, I'll be honest. And I probably could spend those points elsewhere. But I like it. It was cool. And it kind of fitted in with the rest of my army of just basically shooting stuff. And then the other thing that I have in my list as well is 5 Storm Boys. Okay? And then 15 Storm Boys up in the air. And the 5 Storm Boys go in a truck. They also go in with a war boss. So the war boss, what you do is you put the truck forward. Nobody shoots a rubbish little truck. I've certainly got 5 Storm Boys in. Don't know why I'm saying this, because obviously everyone's going to know my Tic Tacs. Then what happens is the 5 Storm Boys jump out.
Yeah.
They advance. You string them back, and I think there's a stratagem in there. Because the war boss gives you advance and charge.
Yeah, so Storm Boys can also advance 6.
That's it, yeah.
But you roll dice for each one, and on a 6, they take 1 tick more.
So what do they move, 10 or 12? Normal?
I think they're 12.
So they're moving 18 inches out of this truck, right? Well, no, more than that, plus another 3 inches. Because of obviously they've got they're coming out of the vehicle as well, right? So you're up to a 21-inch move now. And you then, obviously your other 15 deep strike behind, 9 inches away. Then you mob up. So they're outside of 9 from the enemy, but you've moved 21 inches. So you only need to make a 2-inch charge.
Yeah.
And now your unit has mobbed up and it's strung back to your boss that allows you to advance and charge. So that is just a really effective way of getting in your Storm Boys reliably, basically. And it's a little cheeky tactic. No one's seen coming. You could even have that truck hidden out of line of sight. And you basically throw them out. You might not even need to do that. The extra 3 inches is just quite nice and a little bit extra protection. Sometimes you want to, double protect yourself.
But even deep strike with Orcs is not too bad on the charge when you've got a re-rollable. We won't talk about that game. But for anyone that's wondering, battle wagons don't have Here We Go. Just remember that, guys.
They do now in the Vigilus book.
You can in the Vigilus book, but
we had the best game ever.
It was a terrible game.
Jack nearly flipped the table. It was amazing.
I was playing your Death Watch, wasn't I?
Yeah, and I ruined you.
So I jumped 30 boys over. I was piling everyone into his castle with his Watchmaster. All I needed, my battle wagon landed from deep strike. Played the crushing speed from 3d6 charge. For no problem, I can re-roll any number of the dice. I can't re-roll any number of the dice. That's the problem. 3d6 charge. Got to make a 9.
No, failed it.
Just failed it.
So then your boys,
I spent a CP as well. Binned it. Absolutely canned it.
Yeah.
And then my boys tried to charge. You played a stratagem. I was on a minus 10-inch charge after that. I think.
And basically, what I did was I alternated models as well.
Yeah, it was just.
So basically, one unit plays the strat. They take off the inches. The other. You have to declare against both units because they're within an inch of each other.
Yeah, it was utter nonsense.
So I put in 60... No, I don't even think you charged me because you knew you'd lose your whole unit.
Yeah, I think at that point,
Yeah, but obviously because you knew that's what I was going to do.
Well, the jig was up.
Yeah.
My cunning tactic had been outdone. So, yeah.
Okay, so I've got a request. I've got 2 requests for you both. Request number 1. Would you be able, both of you, to write a list, an orc list, like a starter orc list, which we will give out to anybody on our Patreon? So any tier. So I think it'd be great for people to have both lists, and then a little bit of bullet points is here's how you run it. So if you're a Patreon, one of our Patreon guys, let's say we'll give you guys till next Friday. How's that? We'd look to put them up next Friday because we're busy this weekend. If you could do a list and do some bullet points and that, we'll get them put on Patreon. If you're a $1 and up subscriber, get those for free. We can have a bit of a chat with Steve maybe when he puts them up on Patreon, and then ask some questions about it. So if you're interested in getting into Orcs, that can be a starter list, so you know what models to buy and how to run them.
Yeah, great idea. Yeah.
Fantastic. Appreciate that, guys. So, second request is get them painted, lads. let's see him on the channel. People are itching to see him get played. Go up against Mighty Drukhari and watch him.
Give us a like if you want to see the Orcs on the channel.
Yeah, quality. Okay, right. So the next question I want to ask you. Thanks a lot for going through your list there. You both seem quite passionate about them. Actually, it seemed like there's loads of options in that Codex. Like it sounds like a really good book. You know,
it's a really
so I think
fun book to play. I really enjoy playing with it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great to see those bat reps in the coming months.
Yeah.
So the question I've got for you: put yourself in a position of a tournament player who is playing at Battlefield Birmingham this weekend, and they come up against Orcs, but they haven't played Codex Orcs.
Yeah.
What do you think that they're going to find the opponent doing? What sort of tactics they're going to come up against? What sort of list they're going to come up against? Do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what most Orc players generally do.
Yeah.
In their shout ward quite a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Get ready for that. Earplugs, basically.
And I'll tell you what, that is infuriating. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're on to stopping Orcs now, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything that we want to cover before we move on to how to stop Orcs? What's your favourite unit in the game?
Out of the book?
Yeah.
Um,
Don't you dare take mine. Don't you dare take it. Go on.
I think my favourites. I think Tankbusters.
Okay.
I really like them. I've got a cheeky little unit, some anti-flyer unit, and a tank unit. Or Death Killer Wartrike. Actually, no, Death Killer Wartrike. Sorry, that's mine.
Stole mine.
Yeah.
He's a weapon.
I love the Death Killer Wartrike. I think he's wicked. That was going to be my pick. I like the shock attack gun now. I hated it before.
You took the mick out of me when I bought mine, didn't you?
Well, yeah, because you didn't have the relic one. Before it was rubbish. Now it's amazing.
Yeah.
Now it is so good. Let me just go over why this is so good. If I can find the...
While Steve's doing that, I'm going to give you my top Orc unit. This is based on absolutely no information whatsoever. It's the planes, because I think they look brilliant. Like they look like Spitfires, don't they?
Yeah.
I think they look absolutely awesome.
Dakka Jets.
I think they're pretty good as well.
Dakka Jets are good, you know. Yeah, they're good. They've got when they obviously Orcs hit on 5s. When you put all of their guns on the same unit, get +1 to hit.
Yeah.
Which I actually really like as a concept. I think you should be rewarded for not split firing.
But no Spitfires anyway.
They do. Like if you're a knight, you normally go there, over there, that over there. Or if you're like a unit, for example, a unit of infantry, I'll put this many shots on there, that many shots on there. I do quite like the +1 to hit. I think +1 to hit is better than reroll ones, because rerolls are annoying, because +1 is just simpler, it's quicker on the dice rolls. Anyway, it's just an idea. But anyway.
Right. Shock attack gun.
Getting back to the good stuff. The shock attack gun, okay?
It's a relic.
Use it's 2 CPs. Use this stratagem in the shooting phase. Pick a Dread Warg unit from your army. That unit can shoot twice with all of its ranged weapons. Now, what you can't do is use this and the Bad Moons one, okay? You can't shoot 3 times.
Oh, on the same thing.
Yeah, you can only shoot this one twice. So
but that...
Don't get any cheeky ideas trying to shoot this thing 3 times off.
But you can't put looters into this Dreadwar. But
No,
you can
you
put
can't.
Gorkanauts.
You can put Big Mechs, Gorkanauts, Morkanauts, Death Dreads, Killer Cans.
So you could be shooting a Gorkanaut twice.
Yeah.
Which would be good.
Yeah, that'd be handy, yeah. But this is what they get. It's a relic on the Big Mech. Range 60. No slouch. Heavy 2d6 shots.
Nice.
Heavy 2d6 shots. Strength 2d6.
That's a 2 for you, Steve.
That's a big 2 for me. Yeah.
That's probably 12 for me. So
Yeah.
it'll be alright for me.
AP -5.
Nice.
Fine, yeah.
Not that that's even needed.
So OTT, isn't it?
And then D6 damage. So again, 1 for me.
Yeah.
So I'm basically rolling 2 shots at strength 2 with 1 damage.
Yeah.
Then, before this, firing this weapon, roll once to determine the strength of all its shots. If the result is 11 or more, each successful hit does D3 mortal wounds, in addition to any normal damage.
Very nice.
If you pull that off, it's that's just game changing. That is.
That's like knight dead.
Yeah.
Shoot the next one. Knight dead. Lovely.
That's good stuff.
So we've had a few. We have a few people in the chat. What do we said here? Robert said, just caught the last bit. My club local orc player is Simon Pridis. Yeah, Simon, lovely guy. Me and Mark have met him many a times. Who is a very good orc player and runs a sort of orc bomb with just loads of boys, loads of storm boys. He was at the last ITC tournament we played at.
I think this chap up here has made a good point about countering.
We'll come on to that. We'll come on to the counter of orcs.
Yeah.
But I like that. Phil said, talking about playing out of the box of orcs, Bad Moon's Detachment, Mech, Custom Force Field, Weird Boy, 3 Gretchen Unit, 5 Smasher Guns. Yeah, Smasher Guns are pretty good. Yeah, I like them.
I like the Mech Guns. I think the custom cannons, D6 shots.
Yeah.
Strength 8 minus 3d6 damage, I think they are really good. They have 4s as well.
Everyone was raving about the auto-hitting flying thing,
but cannon.
Nah.
Not as a no from me, I think.
Nah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, I like the battle wagons as well. I think they're cool. I think there's some play there.
Wagons.
Yeah, you love your battle wagons,
yeah.
Especially with the war trike. Yeah. You know. Anyway, so should we get on to how do we beat orcs, or like Mark said, get back to your point about what do we do if you face them?
Yeah. So what would be interesting, I think, from a player's perspective, if they're playing in a tournament, or if that guy is unlucky enough to play Simon Pridis at his local club, because Simon is quite some player, lovely guy, but absolutely brilliant with Orcs. He'll be at Battlefield Birmingham this weekend and probably trying to win it with, I think he won it with Orcs 2 years ago. So he won it with a Tau last year, and then the time before that, I think he said he won it with Orcs. So, like, what are the players going to see? You know what I mean? What are they going to come up against? Like, we've heard about the jump, and people are throwing different numbers around, 120 of this and 200 of this, and, you know, in that first turn, what's going to happen?
So typically, your normal orc build will probably have some sort of hard-hitting unit, and that's either a Gorkanaut, load of it's either 25 looters, something that's a big point sink, basically.
I think typically it's 25 looters.
Yeah, that's probably what you can guarantee. Yeah. If they don't have them, they'll probably have loads of other shock attack guns and things like that. The other option is basically, once you've got, they'll probably face this big blob of something. That's probably some sort of shooty unit like your looters or whatever. Some Gretchen to fill out. They'll have loads of CPs. Yeah. They'll have all their characters in one big blob stuck together. Okay, wrap them pretty safely.
There'll be a custom force field to everyone a 5-up invuln.
So everyone's got a 5-up invuln. Everyone's got a feel no pain. And then your weird boys are in there as well, and they're getting +3 to cast, so they're reliably going to get their powers off, okay? Then what's going to happen is they've probably got anywhere from 90 up to 150 boys, depending on how quickly they can play with them. Okay, and if they haven't gone for that many boys, they'll probably have loads of storm boys, like Simon Pridis plays, very storm boy heavy, very much in your face. So actually,
combat threat.
Yeah, I played against Orcs, not the last Battlefield Birmingham, but the Battlefield Birmingham before. So it's literally this time last year. First game up against Orcs. And I had no clue. I was literally this guy, right? So I was running Eldar at the time, and I just spaced out my units really far apart so that because Orcs can get the +1 on the charge, they can wrap well, you basically need to screen as low as you possibly can. And if you want to know more about screening, we've got a screening guide on our Patreon page. I think you have to be a 2nd tier subscriber to get that. Also, the next chapter is coming out this week. I got a little bit delayed because I've been ill for the last 2 weeks with a really bad cold, in like flu symptoms and stuff. But anyway, that's coming out by Friday.
And some of the images you were showing me earlier, it's worth the wait. Let's get the quality there. Let's not rush these things out. Yeah, and it'll be worth the wait. Yeah.
So if you want the screening guide where I talk about screening low, screening middle, and screening high, and what you need to do against all of those different types. But you need to screen low, basically, which is near the very back of your board, okay? Because if you don't want to give away a free charge, right? That's what you do not want to get wrapped. If you get wrapped, like if you're like a Blood Angel player and you've got scouts up the board, that's your worst mistake. You've already lost if you've done that. Mm-hmm. You need to put your scouts in your deployment zone, okay, and really far back. Because if they wrap you, what they'll just do is consolidate piling until they've killed everything. By that point, they've probably touched something else. Yeah. You can't shoot this massive unit in the middle. The characters are moving up, and all of a sudden they'll just come out and they'll smash you to bits. Because some of the Orc war bosses have some incredible relics. Yeah. Some really hard-hitting relics that you need to be aware of. One of them's like this ×2 strength. It's like strength 10. He's got like 8 attacks. A -3, flat 3 damage.
So, yes, you've got from turn 1 you've got the looters to contend with, which if you're not going first, you've got prepared positions. So they'll be at -0 because you negate like -1. So you got that to think about, and you got the jump is the other big one. Yeah. Which,
so the jump is a psychic power. Goes off on like a 6 or a 7, but you get the +3, so it's off reliably. They just have to roll a 4 basically, and they can basically move over a unit and redeploy it
from turn 1.
From turn 1, so it's a redeploy. So you can't use anything like Auspex Scan, anything like that against it. Okay, there's no real counter to it unless you can deny it, but you're probably not going to be in range to deny turn 1.
You should not be in range to deny to jump.
So what you can do from that point is just have a rubbish screen, okay, or be Deathwatch. I like being Deathwatch.
Yeah.
You can either go big on your like you could have a flying screen that works really well because when you get hit, you can't be wrapped. Then I think a flying screen is really useful. Like if you're running Eldar and you've got, I would actually screen with sort of like jet bikes or swooping hawks, something like that. You've got Tau.
On the screen with drones.
Screen with your drones, they can just fly away. Yeah. Necrons, Scarabases, they can fly. They don't look like it, but they can. Yeah, been caught out by that before. You could even screen with like your annihilation barges and stuff like Doomsday Arks, Annihilation barges. You could screen with fire prisms because
it's an interesting point when you're playing a combat army like Orcs. You don't necessarily need to hide your units from shooting.
Yeah.
So your screening units might change on its head. Big example is the Doomsday Arks. Yeah. They're massive models. They've got a reasonable amount of Overwatch as well. Yeah. The boys aren't going to kill them in combat.
No.
And then you fall back and you shoot. So in that scenario, 3 Doomsdays at your front of your deployment zone. Mm-hmm. You're laughing then, and you're pushing back. And
guys, that's why Necrons are OP. Okay.
If Dan was on, he'd be frantically messaging right now.
But anyway, you just need to think about screening in a slightly different way. Screen low, and then also basically use flyers where you can. And if you do have to screen with a unit, just make sure they are far, far away from being able to pile into other units. Because what I would be doing as an Orc player is basically stringing my boys out, okay? And this gets really... When I write the chapter on how to become a better 40k player, I'm going to talk about how I charge units when I play Harlequins. Because I run a massive blob of 10, and with 30 Orcs I could do this even better. But basically, when you string out your boys, once you rolled your charge range, that is basically a free move. So as long as one guy gets in, you only have to get one guy in combat with the range you want. The rest can go wherever they want then, okay? And then the rules are, you pile in to the closest unit, okay? You can then wrap that closest unit with your consolidation. You can then spend 3 CPs to fight that unit again, and although you can't actually fight with the boys that you've just consolidated and pile into, you can then pile in and consolidate another 6 inches, another 3 and a 3. So you can just wrap. You're spending 3 CPs to keep 30 Orcs completely safe. Because you still get to action. Yeah.
Yes.
Cheeky.
Yeah, because I was playing the weekend, I was doing
Dirty tactics.
The good thing with the Evil Sons is the additional inch on the move, as well as being Orcs can re-roll. So I was making good use of that first bit, which was, it's a movement.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you get out of the 7th edition, where you had to move closer. long as one gets in, you're off. And I was going this way, and I was tying up other units.
Because if you basically make a line like this across the board, right? You pile in, or you charge in from here, from here to here, closest, but then all this stuff can start to sweep round into the army, then it piles in, consolidates, wraparounds.
I did not consider
the fight twice
as part of the 3 CP.
Yeah. Because then you don't need to worry about if you kill what you've just charged.
Yeah.
If they've only got like a 5-man rubbish unit of Dire Avengers, it's fine, because you just pile in and consolidate.
It's the extra 6-inch move on that. I've never considered that before, so that's, as a tip for me, that is great.
Yeah. So anyway, I've just told you some very dirty tactics, and I've probably just helped Orc players more than I've just helped the people defending it.
So how are you going to stop them?
And how are you going to stop them?
Before we go to that, let me summarise a little bit, just to make sure I've really understood what the information that was coming across. So if you're a tournament this weekend, like Chris is as well, one of the guys in the mentoring group, he's going to have an awesome t-shirt on. If he faces Orcs, and he's never faced him before, he probably has, but let's take Chris. So he's probably your average Orc player, we're saying he's going to try and de-jump as many of the mob up, to jump as many guys, boys as possible, right in your face, as far up the board as you possibly can. Is there a range on the jump, or is it just within 9 of the...
outside of 9.
Cinema model. Say again, sorry.
You've got, the psycho's got to be within range of the unit he wants to jump.
10-inch or 12-inch.
So he's getting, like you say, you're getting +3 to cast. You're probably not going to be in range to be able to deny it if you've got psychic yourself. So you're going to find that there's going to be quite a lot of boys up in your grill early doors, probably, in the first turn. Then they've got to make a 9-inch charge, and you say they've got some tactics for increasing that charge, is there?
Evil Sons get a +1 inch to their charge rolls.
Okay. Evil Sons need to make 8 then.
Yeah.
And obviously they get Here We Go, so they can re-roll 1 or both dice they can pick.
Okay.
So it's pretty reliable.
Really, really useful. Great strategy. So what your advice then, Steve, is to screen low and screen probably with something that can fly away, and then to try and absorb that, maybe something with high toughness, because those there might be a lot of attacks, but they won't get through. They won't be very potent.
Screen with your, if you don't have flying units, imagine screening with a repulsor. That'd be amazing. It's a great screen. Scream of the night. You've got these units where you can fall back and shoot. Use them. That's what they're there for. Tough, big units. Scream with them. But the problem, anyway. So expect that turn 1. Turn 2,
that's what you're a player. That's what's happened to you. How do they then deal with it? Apart from the screening, how do we try and clear those guys off and get ourselves able to breathe? Basically, to play our game.
Yeah. So again, you want to make sure that you lose all of your models that you've just been attacked by. You actually want that, because then you're reducing your risk of being wrapped. Okay. Also, little tricky note here: if you are not, so this is where Jack would get no offense, Jack, but this is where Jack, as a Tau player, would come unstuck. If you're a Tau player, you're not used to piling in and consolidating, are you? No, really, no. It's not something you do that often. Now, if you pile in and consolidate properly as a Tau player with your Fire Warriors, you can stop the key models that are about to wrap you.
Yes.
By going base to base with them.
Yeah.
So that's a really nice little tic-tac, okay? Because then you've got clear space to fall back. Yeah. If you've got your models next to a ruin, you can just go straight up the ruin piece, okay? Again, good tactic. Because even if you're wrapped, that's fine, you just go straight up, okay? Again, good tic-tac. So that's a couple of cheeky ways there. So basically, prepared positions is great against the looters turn 1. Yeah. You've got then things like, if you're an Imperium playing, just chuck in a Calidus, okay, assassin, which basically means that on a 4+, they spend an extra CP per stratagem. So all of a sudden, if you rolled, and that's a big risk as an Orc player, like, oh my god, they got this stratagem, for every one I play, it could cost me another. So therefore, you could be spending, there's 3 stratagems to mob up, double shoot, and Daka. That's 3 stratagems there. Then Grot Shield, all in turn 1. That could be an extra 4 CP spent. That's all of their resources gone.
Yeah, I think on that list you have to do it.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait. You couldn't, because they had a Calidus stop it. You just have to go. You have to take the risk. Especially
now with the Calidus. 2 CPs, do it again for another turn, happy days.
And I think with the introduction of the Assassin's Codex, is it the Codex running next book?
Yeah.
It makes a bit...
In this month's White Dwarf, yeah.
It's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, so that's a nice little plug-in for Imperium players. Anything with a 2-up save is really handy. So if you're running Knights, just stick the 2-up save on him. Yep. Terminators are actually really good against Orcs. They really struggle to kill it. Anything with a 2-up save is good. Anything toughness 5 is good because these guys are strength 4. They're winning your 5s. You've got a 2-up save. You're kind of fine basically. They'll just bounce off you. All right. How you deal with them is literally it could be from flamers. It could be anything. Any gun at all which has got 2 or 3 shots is going to go through them, right? And as soon as you've took that unit down to, is it like 18?
I think the magic number's around 15 to 18.
Yeah, you kill 18 of the unit. They have to do 1 or 2 things. They have to spend 2 CPs to keep the unit alive, or they're going to lose the entire unit from morale.
It's worth touching on. So Orcs morale is based on the number of models they have in a unit.
Yeah.
So a unit of 30 boys have leadership of 30.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you work it out, once you get down to half strength, they've got real morale issues.
Yeah.
As I said, you've got 2 CP. The war boss can actually...
kill 1.
D3.
I'll kill D3.
But still, you're going to do it, and then you might green tide back next turn.
That's the only time when my poor rolling comes into handy.
That's actually the unstoppable green tide.
Yeah, the unstoppable green tide. If you haven't fully killed a unit, then it can come back at full strength for 3 CPs. Okay? So remember that. So if they've got 3 CPs available, okay? Now, it's not a bad idea, because if you bait that out, then they're not firing their looters twice. Yeah. Okay, so I'd rather face...
And the reality of it is 5 CP.
Yeah.
Because you got auto... So you've left them with 1, they got all past the morale.
2 CPs.
To then spend 3 to bring them back.
Yeah.
Unless there's a war boss nearby. But actually, against the looters, it's almost spend 5 CP to bring another 30 slugger boys back.
Yeah.
Instead of firing looters twice.
Yeah.
And that... You can have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine, Yeah, as you say, bait it out.
Yeah, bait it out, it's fine.
So, if just to recap slightly, some of the tactics that you've come up with there for people is that if you've got an Imperial army, assassins are good. One of the other things is actually the Eversaw looks absolutely horrific against Orcs. Being able to is it 7 attacks plus one for everyone that they kill can hit back immediately?
Yeah, the thing is that if they've got the Orcs really rely on their CPs, and I think the Calidus is really good for that. It's just to draw out more of their... Because as soon as the Orcs are out of resources, that's it. It's game over. They've got a T-shirt save, they're dead. If they don't have looters and they've just got mass bodies, why not put him in? Do some more damage. If you've skimped on a lot of Daka and you've gone for more like melter guns or something, put him in. It will help a bit. But yeah, he's not going to win you the game. Because actually, he's only toughness 4, and if he gets charged, or if, let's say you have 2, and this is again with Orcs, right? So, when I played Co, who is the England Orc player, okay, and I played him at Element Games last year, right? And I ran Harlequins. So, Co is one of the best Orc players in the country for us. Well, he is the best Orc player in the country so far, some would say. And I had a list that should have lost to him, and I basically drew out a draw, and I could have won it. I had planes, okay, and what I did with my planes was I move blocked his entire army. Because he had this big old, 120 Orcs, all buffed up, with the invuns, the feel no pains, etc., 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 and basically put my planes in front of it, and used the terrain to slow him down. So I got myself more time. You need time against Orcs, so move block. So, again, if you've got a rubbish unit of scouts that are at the backfield, feed them forward, okay? Move and advance them, just so that they're an inch away. Don't charge. Leave them, 3 inches away so they can't be heroically intervened or anything by a character or anything nuts like that. Just put them right in front. So then they have to... they can only move that far, or they have to move around. So movement block is really good. You've basically got, so once you've dealt with the jump, every single turn you're going to deal with that properly, you've then got this massive unit coming down the middle, okay, of this just core of orcs. And what you want to do is isolate a unit with any buffing or debuffing units you've got, kill the unit completely, take it out of the equation, movement block the other unit. So move block one of the units, debuff, buff, and get rid of the other unit, okay? So systematically work through it like that. So move block, kill, move block, so on and so forth.
So, again, any other good examples of decent move blockers?
Knight's great for that, because you want to, like, if an orc unit charges a knight, then they're probably not going to do anything to it. If they've got a war boss, will kill it though, so just be careful of him.
Yeah.
So you got knight, you got flyers. So if you've got a couple of flyers in your list, then you can't charge your flyers because they haven't got the fly keyword.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Flyers are perfect for it. Literally one of the best things.
Yeah. Me as a towel player, I'm going to make sure I stay on my 6-inch bubbles for greater good.
Yeah.
So make sure you stay within your bubbles to make those charges hurt for the orc player.
Yeah.
Because again, as soon as you break away from formation, the orcs will be in, and then you're in trouble. So that's something to keep on top of.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Just juicing up in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so move blocking, that you can use the knights, you can use flyers. You said feed them like your worst unit every turn, give yourself more time. You've got the Calidus to make them spend loads of CP, because it sounds like the CP heavy armour. You've got Eversword to go in tandem with that, to maybe cut out some chaff as well. You said flamers as well, so most armies have got access to them.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't rely. I mean, flamers are a bit rubbish, but I just kind of meant anything with a high volume of shots.
So like linking back to the first question, did orcs change the meta? So my list that I'm looking to put 2 units of burst cannon crisis teams. So they have 12 shots each. That's a 36 shot strength 5 unit. Great killing orcs, which they dropped on chapter approved. They become a viable unit now. I've got to deal with horde. So previously I didn't need those.
Someone's just given us a dislike.
Oh.
I don't know. They don't like orcs. Yeah.
Someone's given us a dislike on our video. I can't believe it.
Yeah. Can't please everyone.
Do you know what? I don't get dislikes. I'll tell you why. Because I'd never go up to someone and go, "Oh, I dislike your video." I wouldn't say it.
I'll tell you all the time.
Yeah. Like that you would, yeah. You're just that type of guy, though.
Well, you infected the beard at the beginning, so...
Well, I mean, your beard is bad. Let's be honest, though. We can all agree. I mean, no one agrees with me. Everyone clearly likes the beard, but obviously, anyway. Yeah.
Right.
So, what do we get to?
Yeah, next on the agenda.
Oh, and obviously the Eldar shenanigans. You've got things like Yannari are real good. Just hit it, don't fight again, fall back. Amazing. You've then got someone else giving us a dislike. Thank you very much, guys. We've also got things like Agents of Vect. So again,
and the Genestealer Cult equivalent.
Yep, Genestealer Cult. That's also 3 CPs. Lovely, their version of Vect. That's a really good way of getting rid of the Grot Shield, because that's what you need to get rid of. And if you can just immobilise that turn 1 or turn 2, and obviously you can hide out a line of sight. The looters do need line of sight. So, I think there are plenty of ways. It is scary, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bodies. You probably doesn't know what it does. And also remember as well, some of the orc players, you get the guys that play orcs because they love orcs. They might not be the most competitive minded, and you have a great game against them. Absolutely wicked game. So the other option is, like, you might get some people like me who look at the book and go, "This is a real good book, I'm going to get it."
I think when you set up against orcs the first few times playing, they're intimidating.
Yeah.
Because it's just a massive army.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the flip side of that when I was starting to play with them. I got too cocky.
You did.
But I got really too cocky. Like, this army's massive, it's going to be fine. But they drop quick and they drop fast. So just remember that when you come up against it and people bring 200 models, so you start shooting them, they drop. And they go down quickly. So.
Yeah.
So what we say, if we went over originally then the ethos for you two for your lists, how you wanna, you're going to play them quite differently. So if you're an Orc player looking to start out or looking for some tips, also it sounds like we had a couple of guys that put some stuff in the chat to let us know their ideas. Really good as well. Encourage that. And then what we're saying is if you're a tournament player coming against them for the first time, we then discuss this is what's going to happen to you, most likely, be prepared for it, and then you give everybody some tips, you guys, about how you can possibly counter that and what you can do, how you can structure your list, etc., etc. So I think that is a really, really good section, good intro to Orcs.
We've had a question from Justin on the old Patreon which says, advice on handling the looter bomb. I think we've covered that one, which is cool. I've also put a poll on our Patreon page, which is which assassin would you like me to use on our next battle report, which me and Mark are filming tomorrow. 55% of people said all four.
Greedy. Love it.
Thanks, lads. Cheers.
But guys, so myself, Mark, Dan, Jack are playing at Battlefield Birmingham this weekend. It's about a 100-man team event, so see how we get on. We'll do another one of these lives next week, so we can recap how we got on, the lists that we played, and also basically the games that we faced. So tune in next week. That should be good. And if
a few questions, guys, before we head out. I've got a couple of questions because I put this up in our mentoring group.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that I answer those guys' questions. So from the legend that is Ian Pitkin was with us from the very start. He says, this is for those that have not played against Orcs. What are some tactics, strategies and builds to be expecting when playing against Orcs? What does the Orc army overall excel at? What does the Orc army lack?
It lacks an armour save.
It killing flyers, unless it's looters. But even still, our looters obviously very good at shooting flyers, but I'm trying to stay away from looters, and I don't know how you deal with flyers. The tank busters do a very good job, but there's not lots of stuff that can deal with it. I need to touch on the 2-up save as well.
Yeah.
Those are the two things that I feel that the Orcs do struggle with.
But yeah, well, I think we've covered a lot of that really. I mean, it's just a case of...
Yeah, sure. So, just to go over... Go on, sorry, mate, and I was talking over the top of you. Go on.
Mate, that's fine. Sorry. I was also chatting over you, so apologies. But basically, one thing that we did find when we were testing the Orcs a lot was Jack was far too aggressive when he played. Do not be in a hurry to send everything over. I actually found when I started to play Orcs, remember me telling you that keeping a lot of my boys back until turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, the jumping then, that became a lot more useful. When I've used all my shooting elements to get rid of screens, to get rid of the stuff that's going to hurt me most, leave the big targets. Leave them alone. Get rid of the screens, and then send your boys in. Because late game, they won't have enough firepower to get through your whole army, but you can keep your whole army out of range. And that's what I found to be really effective. But you don't see anyone playing like that. You just see it all trundling up and columning up the board, basically.
So a question for you on that goes back to the Patreon question that we had. The guy was asking, how do you deal with the looter bomb? So if somebody has got a load of boys and a looter bomb as well, and what they do is that they send those boys, they jump them, turn 1, and let's say that they get first turn as well. They're up in your grill, straight away. You have to deal with them. You can't let a rampage into your lines and get through everything. What range has the looter bomb got to be able to try and shoot you at the same time as their pals are trying to assault you?
48.
48. It's a big range then.
And they could jump.
Yeah, to jump them. You could jump that unit wherever you want.
Yeah. So target priority then. You've really got to get rid of what's in front of you, what's in your own deployment zone. That's the jump that's trying to charge you, and then you start to concentrate on the looters.
Yeah. If you're playing against a good Orc player, and they know what they're doing, and they've got the right units, they're going to be hard to beat. Really, really hard. Yeah.
Right, that's another question.
Well, we just had a great comment from Down Under Blunder. Great name.
Legend.
Just an update, I managed to get a 4th place in my pre-tournament games last weekend, and the tips Stephen has given me and what he has written up for has helped heaps. So thanks Steve, mate, not a problem. I'm glad to see you doing so well. We also had, is it Gary that came first in his last tournament?
Gary Moore got best general, I think, didn't he?
Best general, and he plays a really cool list of Space Marines. So yeah, like, if you want to become we've got one space left on our mentoring ship program, and we basically do bi-weekly video calls on a private chat forum. I set people homework every week. Like last week was a SWOT analysis of your list. We talk about list design, deployment. We go over every single army over the course of the year. Loads of cool perks. So if you want to become a Patreon and get that last space, you just head over to Patreon now and just search for Vanguard Tactics, and you'll see it there. It's one of our top tiers. If you would like us to write a list for you and also record you a video on how to use that list, so I did one today for Gene Stealer Colt, and my God, I want to collect Gene Stealer Colt so badly after writing this list. I put about 8 hours into the entire thing, from reading the Codex through to reading all the supplement books, and then recording what was over a half an hour video talking through, and I basically use a whiteboard to show where to deploy everything. I run through the list, the relics, I provide cheat sheets, absolutely everything with these lists. So you can get one of those from us if you want, if that's something you want a little bit of help with, or just get an external opinion on what you're doing. And that's also what all of our mentoring ship guys will unlock over the course that they're with us over the year. And if you just want to subscribe for more videos, more tactical videos, the tactical book that I'm writing, and which is going to be the next chapter's released at the end of this week, and then the follow-up chapter I've already started working on, which will be released at the end of the month. And then we obviously get the additional tactical videos that cover specific bits. That's on our second tier, which at the moment is $5. It's basically a Starbucks coffee for more great content.
Yeah. Have some better coffee at home than Starbucks, easily.
If you want to, exactly. So if you want to become a Patreon, just head over to that. And it really helps us keep these videos going. It keeps our passion for it. Seeing the likes, I'm not going to lie, it really makes our day, seeing all these amazing comments. It keeps us coming back for more. So, yeah.
One thing that we actually posted, I posted a poll today in our mentoring group, and the question was, we've got these armies, we've got another 4 or 5 armies that are work in progress. What do you want to see after that? And so we've had some input today from the guys, and the Patreon, funds we're using completely 100% to try and get more better filming facilities, better lighting, better cameras, more models, more armies, all that sort of stuff. So we're pumping it back into the channel. Yep. So we're so grateful for everybody that does contribute to us, and we're utilising it to try and give you what you want. So there'll be polls going up regular. What assassins, what's the next bat rep? We'll give you a choice, see what you want to do, and that's for the Patreon guys. And we really appreciate your support.
Even to buy all the software just to run these live videos. This is not a cheap software that we use just so I can bring up all your comments and stuff, or even to buy all the codexes so we can read through them all and things. It really does. We wouldn't be able to do this without your support. And guys, cannot thank you enough for everyone that's pledged, whether it's been $1 just to help us keep going, or $5 to get a bit more content, or obviously the people on our mentoring ship page. So, yeah.
We've got one final question. Just want to make sure this has been answered. I think we got most of it from Chris Wilson himself. And it says, target priority against the looter mob list, priority in a mech list, how to defend against 90 boys. We happy we've got through that? Okay, we answered that question well enough?
I think so.
Good, I just want to make sure. That's all the questions I've got there, so cool. I think guys, we're about done.
Yeah, well in that case, next week we'll be doing our tournament review. Yeah. Let's see, and if you want to stay posted, I'd normally do tournament updates over on the Patreon page anyway about how we're getting on anyway. So I'll be over on Patreon over the course of the weekend, just making some posts, taking pictures and stuff of what we're up against. So if you want to go and find out more, go and head over to there and follow us over the weekend. Right, guys, take care, and hope you have a great weekend. See you later.
See you later.